Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Healthy Wealthy Mindset Hub. I have a question for you, and it's not rhetorical. You can answer it in the comment section. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? That is a question I'm pretty sure everyone on this planet at some point have either asked themselves or have been asked that. The reason why I'm asking that question is because I just discovered not too long ago the best way for us to discover our purpose or walk in our purpose or to be sure that we are living in our purpose is based on our negative imprint. What is a negative imprint? Okay. It's not how it sounds. We hear the word negative, some of us get triggered. When negative basically is not bad or good, that's all subjective. But negative is something that has to exist. If you have positive, you have a negative. If you have a negative, you have positive. So, in focusing on our negative imprint, just to give you the best definition that I can come up with, negative imprint that we all have them, is something within us that either keeps occurring and it's not favorable. It's something that we don't like, but it keeps coming up. And I know you all know of situations, as I am describing this, you know of situations in your life that you probably have been seeing over and over again. It's like same people, different people, same experience, right? So think about some things in your life that has always been showing up. And we all know when you have situations that occur in your life, you're always a common denominator. A lot of people don't want to face that reality, but that is the reality because you are the center of your universe. So, in speaking of your negative imprint, what are some things that you actually have been experiencing over and over again that's not favorable, and you keep wondering, why am I keep running into this? Why do I keep running into these same people? Why do I keep getting the same boyfriends, the same girlfriends, the same friends, the same co-workers, right? Different people, same experiences. That is what you call your negative imprint. So let me describe that a little further based on your core, right? The contract that you have agreed to before you even got here, right? So you're talking about core intentions. That's what I'm going to say, core intentions. Like, what are the core reasons of you being here, right? Based on your experiences, the bad and the good. But going back to negative imprint and basically looking at those situations that keep occurring in your life that are not favorable, wouldn't you think that that would be something that you would work on while you're here? Like, if it keeps coming up, that means that you're here to right those wrongs, to fix those situations, and to use those experiences to teach others, right? Which is how we always hear turning pain into power. That's basically what that means. So instead of just wallowing in these unfavorable situations that keep coming up, your negative imprints, it is your obligation, your duty to take those situations, correct them. And as we all know, as we should know, the only way to correct these unfavorable situations is to go within, right? So you have to figure out, what is it about the way I move, the way I act, the way I am, why I keep attracting these same situations, right? And once you've discovered that, and for the most part, when you discover that, it's going to be through more experiences, through more things that are tried and tested, right? Approaching things differently, because we all know what insanity means, right? Doing things over and over again, expecting the different results, right? But you're getting the same results. So once you figure that out, and once you figure out how to right those wrongs, so to speak, in those situations, that would identify as your negative imprints, then you want to take those same situations and you want to show others and teach others how to use either preventive methods from putting themselves in those same situations, or if they also have been experiencing those same situations, you want to show them how to change it for the greater good, how to make those situations better for themselves and for all others who they impact. Which is my personal story, me being a transformational financial services specialist. My negative imprint led me to this route, which is why I am so, it took me a while, but it's like every day or every moment of me being in this industry and having these experiences with my prospects, my clients, other agents, other people who are in this industry, and just knowing our story in regards to melanated people when it comes to finances and when it comes to the negative imprints that we collectively have when it comes to money and generating wealth, generating wealth, excuse me, generational wealth, and things that we're all so proudly screaming now. And many of us are working in these industries, and many of us are, you see us on social media, you see us, having stories, rags of riches, and just having the experiences that would identify as being in positions of changing that negative imprint or utilizing that negative imprint that we have collectively to not only enhance our lifestyles but help others around us. So I'm just excited because it's like, when you do things, because I've had other careers. I was a school teacher, I was a school counselor, and when I was in those careers, and when I was a teacher and a school counselor, it was basically it wasn't something that I was aspiring to do. Long story short, when I was in college, right at graduation, they had a program called the Critical Needs Program for these public schools that needed teachers. I was a single parent, still a single parent, but my son's 29. But at the time, my son was a toddler. I was about to graduate. So my mindset was, wow, I could start working now to help to take care of him financially, because I have no shame. I was on Section 8 when I was in college. I was using it as a stepping stool to move on up the social ladder to be able to take care of myself and my son. So when that opportunity came to me at that time, at the age of early 20s, and my son was about, I think he was 2 or 3 when I graduated from college with my bachelor's in nutrition and food management, I became a home economics teacher. And that experience, I was doing that for years, so about 7 years, and I went to get my master's and became a school counselor. Now, the experiences that I remember in those situations that caused a negative imprint in me to, for one, retire from that, from the school system, were experiences that weren't favorable for me. What I've learned while being a school teacher and a school counselor in a public school system, it caused me to want to do something else that I felt would be more meaningful, more of service to those whom I impact. Because for me at that time, I didn't feel I was being a positive impact on the students because I had a lot of stuff that I was dealing with that just wasn't in alignment with who I am or who I was, But I didn't know that. I was just like many of us in a rat race, needing a job. You go to college, you get a job. You go to college, you get a job. That's what my generation is taught. Go to college and get a job. Go to college and get a job. Get an education, get a job. There is nothing wrong with that. But when you're not shown, or even the people who are telling you these things, when none of us have that inner knowing as to why we're doing this, we're just doing these things because it's the right thing to do based on society. And then when you get in these careers and then you realize this is like, okay, I'm a very reserved and quiet person when I get around a lot of people. I'm not I'm better now because I'm older, but at that time I didn't realize that I didn't like being around a lot of people. You know, like I am hypersensitive. There was a lot of things about me that I did not discover until after I retired from the school system. So now I'm like, oh, that's why. That's why. And then on top of that, I had a lot of revelations about the people in my life who it was a very hurtful things that happened, you know? But it's because I wasn't in tune with who I was, who I am. It was like I was just being a robot, you know, like many of us. I was in college, I got pregnant, I needed to take care of my son, I got a job. All of those things I am so grateful for because I really had a good, like, I graduated from college, and then in maybe 3 or 4 months, I ain't even got not even like by yeah, like 3 months, graduating in June, like by August, September, I was working in the school system. Where many people, you know, they graduate from college and it takes them years and years to get a job. That was something that was and even now it was like the norm. So, you know, for those of us who graduated and then you get a job like within that year or within a few months, oh, and don't have a job set up before you graduate, oh, you got it going on. Everybody want to know how you did it. Can they get a reference? You know what I mean? That was just like the hustle and bustle of it, you know? Wouldn't take anything from it. Some of my best days was during my college days, and some of my most hurtful days was during my college days. If I could have do it all over again, I definitely would have gone a different route. But again, no knock on that path because it really taught me a lot about myself. I never really took the time to really know who I was until after those negative imprints became part of my journey. So I'm saying all that to say, I've always considered myself a vulnerable person. Sometimes too vulnerable. Sometimes I overshared a lot. But now I know why I was like that. Back then, it was just like everybody around me was my friend. I was happy-go-lucky. I didn't really know how to be a friend. I just loved to be around people, but then at the same time, I didn't like to be around people. Oh, the things we learn about ourselves when you're open to it. I was a hot mess. You know what I mean? I really was. But hey, that is what this journey is about. To know what it was I was supposed to learn. I mean, at this age right now, I can honestly say everything that I've experienced, everything that I've done, I understand now why. You know, the negative imprint. So going back to what I do now in the financial services industry, working with people like me who have been in situations where we may have struggled financially. We may have came from a family that struggled financially, maybe not the whole time, but there were periods of struggling financially. And getting to the point where there should be no embarrassment about that, you know, because I do remember, and I do now, people will treat you according to how they see you based on your socioeconomic status. And if you happen to be friends, which this has happened to me, with someone whose status may be a little bit higher than your family's, or you know, y'all just maybe in the same circle, after a while you just start, and it could just be maybe an insecurity that some people have, but you start feeling a little less than when you're not looking at the wholeness of who you are, not just feeling like you have to put on a particular image because you're around certain people who may have certain things that you don't. And y'all, something's in my eye today, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna have to. And you know, all of that takes into account with the psychology behind being in positions of not having enough, or people who may think that you have it and then they're taking advantage of you. Like, it's so many different ways to look at it. But I know everything that that I've gone through in regards to, you know, being a financial wreck, having situations where my finances was challenging for me, so therefore I had to result into, you know, partaking in things I didn't want to just to have money. You know what I mean? having another second job while I was working a full-time job. Like, this is, the story of many people. Being a single mom, even though my family was extremely supportive, but I was a single mom. Those things take a toll on you when you're a parent. You can't really do for your child like you want to because of finances, or because you don't really know how to manage your finances. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses because you're in a position to where you're around people who may have money. You don't have it, but you're gonna try to act like you got it because your friends got it. And then they find that you don't have it. It's kind of like the whole condescending tone starts coming. And if you're hypersensitive like me, you ain't gonna put up with that but for too long, which is another thing about my negative imprint. I've always been able to detach from situations and people that were stressful to me, that weren't in alignment with who I am. And, just people just trying to turn you into something that you're not. But y'all supposed to have some type of connection. I've been known for just like stopping the press. Stop the press. Like, I'm just playing. Stopping the press when it comes to that. Like, I just would not deal. I just wouldn't deal with it. Because I'm like, in my mind frame, I'm like, you supposed to be my friend, and you supposed to be my cousin, you supposed to be so-and-so. And you treat me like this, then we don't have nothing else to say to each other. But passive aggressively, I did that because I never was really one to be direct. And then I just like verbally direct. My actions would just show it. It's like, I can show you better than I can tell you, which is unhealthy. I'm learning that now. Another negative imprint. So I'm saying all this to say, and I'm being sort of vulnerable with you all to give you all an idea of how you could turn your negative, or really, first of all, you have to know what they are, your negative imprints. You have to know what your negative imprints are, and how you can turn that pain into power, and utilize that as a teachable moment for yourself and for all of those who you impact. That's why I'm just so excited about the path I'm on now, because everything that I'm doing now is as a result of what I've experienced. And I'm using that now to not only uplift and improve my lifestyle, and improve, most importantly, my knowledge of this area of financial services, and creating wealth and maintaining wealth and sustaining wealth and teaching others how to do it. But it's something that we all need to really, really hone into. So, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? If you know what your purpose is, and you're very confident in speaking about it, I would like to hear from some of you. What's your purpose? Why are you here on this planet? Right? Now, I've also heard, and I do agree with this, that you can have more than one purpose, right? I mean, your purpose can be pretty much a collective effort in the things that you're doing and saying and who you're being with everyone who you come in contact with, but it doesn't have to be one thing, right? Like, I heard people say, well, my purpose is to be a teacher. Okay, that's great. What kind? How did that come about? What did you have to go to like, those are the things that we need to dig deep about. So if you want to book a strategy session with me, and let's look at and dig a little deeper into your whole purpose or your negative imprint when it comes to finances, and how does this put you in a position that you're in now? Like, what is your money story, and how is your money story helping you right now in your life, and how you're building yourself and building your legacy as you build your finances? This is something that I've done. This is, again, going into my negative imprint and things that I have and still are doing. And it works. I mean, it freaking works. Yeah. The next time I come on, I want to talk to you guys about money disorders. That's a thing. Money disorders is a thing. And I want to talk more about it with you all. But first, I wanted to speak more about negative imprints and how it creates our purpose on this planet. And in saying that, thank you for stopping by Healthy Wealthy Mindset Hub. And until next time, peace.